Okay, this is my third attempt at making this today. Camera issues. This is a Mother's Day card I made, another one that I made. I'm going to go ahead and redo this so that you can see all the steps, but the first one came out like this, really pretty. I kind of love it. So let's get started. What you're going to need is a piece of very vanilla cardstock from Stampin' Up, cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Then you'll need another piece of very vanilla cardstock, just decent sized scrap piece, and a scrap piece of Autumn Spice cardstock from Stampin' Up as well. Set those aside and we'll put those later. Okay, so I am using this stamp from the For Everything stamp set from Stampin' Up. Oops. That looks like. And I'm going to stamp it on the front of my cardstock with two colors, using Pacific Point and Old Olive, classic ink from Stampin' Up. I'm making my primary color the Pacific Point, so you just get that really inked up, nice and inked up, like that, and then just kind of roll it in the Old Olive, and just get a little bit, maybe tap tap, and then just put it wherever you want it on the card. And what you're going to get is the majority of the color is going to be blue, and then you're going to have a little bit of green. Right there. Down. I think you can hear my dog panting. Sorry about that. I'm going to fold this right now so I can go off the page there and not go onto the back. I don't want to do that. Alright, next one I'm going to use, and I'm going to switch these pads, is the Happy Mother's Day stamp from Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set, which is this one from Stampin' Up. With this one I'm going to make green, the Old Olive, my primary color, and I'm going to just gently get the blue Pacific Point on there. I don't know if you can tell, but it's mostly green with a little bit of blue. You want to keep it kind of far off from this edge because there's another step, so you're going to want to have room here. Alright, so then the next thing I want to do is to emboss it with my Cuttlebug using my Cuttlebug Argyle folder, embossing folder. And unfortunately when I do this, you're probably not going to be able to see it very well, but I will show you how I set it up. So if you haven't, you will want to fold your card and take it and slip the front of it into the folder all the way to the back of the folder, or the top of the folder, leaving the back of the card out of the folder, because you only want to emboss the front. And when you pull it out, that's what it looks like. Nice and textured. The next step is to cut this edge at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to want to take your scallop edge border punch from Stampin' Up! And just scallop edge this side, this edge that you just cut off. Oops. Now you want to flip it. Alright, and just take some Scotch tape. And I'm going to try and line this up. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm lining it up at the 8.5 mark on my mat. Tape it down and tape one corner of this down. Tape it down to the 0 line of your pad if you've got measure marks, like ruler marks or whatever on your pad. Then you're going to want to take a strip of the Scotch tape long enough to stretch and leave a little bit on each end of your card and tape them together. And you'll clip these edges off later. And then remove the card from the mat. Grab something like this where you can catch your, unless you just want to use paper, catch your glitter. And I am using bronze glitter from Martha Stewart today, and just smother it in there and just pour lots on so the tape is all covered. You'll just kind of pat down the glitter so that you're sure that it's kind of on there, all that you want. You can get it all on there. And just shake it off. And if there's any hanging out on there, then just use a little paintbrush to get it off. Any that you don't want on there. So any excess, paintbrush. Cut these edges off. I'm going to cut a piece of this with my 1 3/4 scallop circle punch from Stampin' Up! And you're going to want to leave a nice gap. I guess I'll show you why. Okay, so then what you're going to want to do is take the 2 3/8 scallop circle punch from Stampin' Up! And you're going to want to cut around the 1 3/4. So you want to sort of do it evenly because you want that. Alright, then you're going to tape this with mailing and storage tape, is what they call it. Okay, there we go. Just be careful when you pull it back up, not to tear anything. Alright, now I'm using Carrara Marble by Martha Stewart, and just cover that. Dump the rest off, and give it a nice little flick to get any excess off. I just cut the overhang off